All right, welcome back, Richland Center Wrestling family. We had a full weekend last weekend with Girls Regionals Friday night, Boys Sectionals on Saturday. This show's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about the girls, the wrestling weekend last weekend, and then we're going to get into some of the girls sectional preview, as well as the D2 Richland Center Team Sectional preview and the D3 Brookwood Team Sectional preview coming up this Saturday. Zach, take us through the girls Friday night.
All right, so the girls last Friday had they hosted a home regional. They brought 7 wrestlers to the competition, qualifying 6 for this week's individual sectional tournament on Friday in Mineral Point. With that, those 7 girls that they brought, they scored 185 team points, finishing second overall, just 4 points behind Kickapoo, despite having 4 fewer wrestlers than Kickapoo did. So overall, great tournament on the girls' side. Leading off, Spieldy, got a 100-pound senior, 28-5 record. She was a regional champ.
Yes.
I think she makes it through to state this year as a sectional champion.
Yeah, so she's got, let's just preview her bracket a little bit. She's at the top of the bracket. First round, she'll have an 11-9 sophomore out of Oregon. Followed by that, I assume she's got the Lemke girl out of Madison East in the semis. That girl is 15-4. Looking at her season, it doesn't, I mean, she's got a good record, but they didn't wrestle at Bi-State. They didn't wrestle at Badger State, right? So I think she advances through that and gets into the finals, where she will more than likely have Parker Stewart out of Evansville, a sophomore. She is 19-6. The Stewart girl is. Again, looking at, like, Evansville does a great job on the boys' side of getting the strength of schedule. They did not, in my opinion, do a great job, at least for her, right? Again, they weren't at Badger State. They were not at Bi-State for the girls' side either. Spildy got 3rd at Bi-State, I believe, and Badger State.
3rd at Badger State.
3rd at both of them, maybe.
4th at Bi-State.
And so Spildy's record, 28-5. She's wrestled both those tournaments. You know, had a pretty tough schedule. I look for Spildy getting out. The only thing I see, maybe she has a hiccup in the semis. And then once again, just like the boys, if you do lose there, you gotta hope that person wins the bracket, so you have a chance at that true second wrestleback.
Yep. And then Madeline Muller, 120-pound senior record this season of 33-5. I believe she's currently sitting at 99 career wins. So her first win on Friday at sectionals would be her 100th win, which on the girls' side is a pretty good accomplishment. Currently ranked 6th right now at state, regional champ. If I were to predict her side of the bracket right now, I believe she also gets through as a sectional champion as well.
Yeah. So Maddie's biggest competition that I see is going to come in that semifinals match against Sauk Prairie girl, 35-5 sophomore. I believe they wrestled last year at some point, if I remember right. Solid girl by the sounds of it. They have had no head-to-head this year. They have a few common opponents that Maddie has also beaten and beaten at a higher score. But again, like, common opponents are always kind of tough to figure out stylistically. They could be told, like, I mean, and then there is that Mineral Point girl in that bracket, the Finley that we beat at conference. That Finley is 41-11. She's a freshman. She's tough on top. She can ride and turn. Girls, she had Maddie in some bars at conference. They went out of bounds. So if she did get to that point, I mean, I think she gets through both those girls. But I mean, there again, if you do hit that point girl in the finals, you probably don't go under.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
Right, because she's just got that ability to get through.
And then next, Mariah Obade at 126 pounds, the junior with a 19 and 18 record this year, was a runner-up at regionals, lost a heartbreaker in the regional final, lost on a last-second takedown. If I were to predict right now, I think that she would have to have a heck of a day to get out, and I'd probably say, as of right now, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, her first round matchup is going to be tough against that ball from Lancaster.
And if you lose your first round, you're done.
At sectionals, you're done. She's 34-8. Is Ball Maddie has wrestled her at least once this year?
She wrestled her in the conference championship.
Oh, yeah. She is banged up a little bit with an ankle, so maybe she's not 100%. So I think we can probably get through Ball of Lancaster. And then in the semifinals, we've got Ekdahl from Monroe.
Highly ranked,
44-5 record freshman. Now, there is a chance for a wrestle back there. The Schulte girl, in my opinion, from Valley probably gets through on the top side. And
we've seen her this year, I believe.
And she's a beatable girl, right? And so we probably get that. In my opinion, we get that as the wrestle back for a second. We've got to go out and compete for a state berth, if you will.
Yep. And then next at 132 pounds, Abigail Williams, the senior with an 11-8 record, was also another regional champion last week. She'd have to have a heck of a day as well to get out. Real tough 132-pound bracket, and at this point, I'd say no.
If I was a betting man, she's got Kit from Wanakee in the semis.
We have Kit and Dealey in the bracket, and they're both ranked in the top 3 of the state.
We probably lose to Kit in a tight match. Now, the one thing about Williams is she's got the ability to horse you over. And if she gets Kit on her back like she had Delia on her back, I don't think Kit gets out as easy as Delia. I don't know that we can stick her, but that would be the one chance to get her is there. And then, yes, Delia, I think, comes through the other side. And if I am the Wanakee's coach, I medical forfeit that match to Delia. Delia's beat her in 2 close matches already. Medical forfeit that one and say, we'll see you in the state finals. We're not giving you a look the week before state. And with that medical forfeit, puts us out of the tournament.
Correct.
So I think there is a path. It's not an easy path at 132. You got to, in my opinion, you got to stick Kit. You got to stick that Wanakee girl. Is where I'm at getting out there.
And then at 145 pounds, Valley Favre, with a record this year of 7-10, was a regional runner-up last week as well. Once again, would have to have a heck of a day to get out, and I'd say at this point, probably not.
And we've got Ekdahl again, first round there.
Older one.
46-2 junior Ekdahl. I don't think there's a way to get through.
Placed very high at state last year, second or third.
I don't. I don't see a way there. And like you said before, you get beat first round sectionals. That's your day. Unfortunately, the luck of the draw. There, I don't see a way out.
And then at 152 pounds, our last qualifier, Annabelle Schlom, the junior with a 14-7 record, also another regional champion. So we brought 7, we qualified 6, had 5 champs. Very, very good day. We had 5 of the 11 champs, so just about half of them. So that's a great tournament for them. At this point, it would be also another. I mean, it's sectionals, a lot of quality wrestlers. She'd have to have a heck of a day, and I'd probably say no at this point too.
Yeah, and so I'm on the opposite side of this one. So on her side of the bracket, she's 14-7. Stoughton girls 36-13. Valley is 26-12. Lancaster 25-14. Like I'm gonna just go out I think Fenimore wins this bracket. The Free Miller girl, 29-4 from Fenimore, but I see a path to the finals. And if we get to the finals, I mean, there's Monroe girl on the bottom side of that bracket. That's 42-5 that we would most likely have to beat again in that true second. So I can see us getting to the finals there, and then it's a you got to win one of those two matches against higher ranked girls. I guess that one I'm 50-50 on. I think that if I think that Monroe and Lancaster probably get out of that bracket, but I wouldn't be shocked to see her in the finals. Now, the one we did not get out at, was it Shannon at 165? There's a bye in that bracket. Why are we not bringing a third place finisher from another regional in? Has the WIA ever done that on the girls' side? They never have. I just noticed that the other day at 65. There is a bye. I don't know that we get out of that anyways, because obviously the top two in our regional are there. We'd have to beat that DeSoto girl at minimum. But there is a bye there, so the Mount Horeb girl gets a bye to the semis at 165.
So I got 2 getting out. How many do you have getting out?
2.
Okay.
I got the 100, Spildy, and is it Muller or Mueller?
I think it's Miller.
Yeah, Madeline Muller at 120 pounds. I have getting out. Now, both of those guys are going to have to show up and wrestle.
Yep.
Like, it's not a day off. It's not a gimme. They've got to show up, be ready. It is, to your point, it's sectionals.
Yeah, and by no means an easy sectional. So
4 o'clock start time at Mineral Point for that Friday night. I'm sure there's a live stream someplace.
I'm sure Queen Bee will be there.
Queen Bee, somebody will be there for that one. Zach has to work, so he tried getting out, and we just couldn't make it happen. The big boss is off going to it, and so it just wasn't in the cards for us to get over there, but we tried to pull the strings.
All right, and then on the youth end, on Sunday we had a club-sponsored tournament in Fenimore. Brought 27 kids. Fairly productive day. We did have 3 champs: Miles Ewing, Aiden Ewing, and Baxton Miller. Up next for the youth this next Sunday, we have another club-sponsored tournament in Dodgeville. I'm expecting good numbers for that as well. So, kind of sucked last week. We didn't have some of our horses there. Needed the week off. Been competing a lot this year, I guess.
Yeah, if we didn't take all the middle school kids, for sure. They have been competing. They went a Monday, Thursday this week. And if I'm going to be 100% honest with you, it's this time of year, I think you can get to the spot where you're over-competing. And after Monday night and Thursday night, we needed some practice room time instead of over-competing, right? So we took the weekend off for the most part, and then, getting a full week of drilling in. Our season is over, so we're starting this new practice plan. We haven't gone live at all this week. A lot of sparring and a lot of drilling, just getting some of those fundamentals locked back in. And a couple weeks we'll be back at the Badger Brawl.
Yeah.
Or Badger. Is it Badger Brawl?
Badger Brawl.
Badger Brawl.
Yep.
And then the boys wrapped up their season this weekend at sectionals. Nobody advanced. Our highest placer was Wobbles, Ethan Bindle at 4th place. We kind of knew, if we're going to be honest with ourselves going in, it was going to be a dogfight. Nothing went in our favor. I mean, for the most part, we got a few wins. Brock Barrett placed. Kamani placed. Bindle placed. And that's it. Bindle the highest at 144. So the boys' season is done with 0 individual state qualifiers. They did not qualify for team sectionals. I think they got 13th out of the 16 teams at sectionals. Hopefully at some point, I'll have a conversation with Coach Seep this week and see if we can get Coach Seep on the show, or maybe just an interview in the room or something with Coach Seep to kind of put a bow on the boys' season, wrap it up, tell us the good, the bad, the ugly, if you will. So look for that coming out. I don't know that it'll happen. I haven't had that conversation with Coach Seep yet, but if it does, we'll get it on as soon as we can for the boys.
Yeah. Overall, great day. We were there. Brought live on YouTube. I enjoyed myself. It was a meat grinder of a sectional. We had 44 ranked kids there, 7 number 1 ranked kids, 7 number 2 ranked kids, and through 8 classes where we had both 1 and 2. Yeah, so overall, first sectional this way of the new format.
I loved it. It was a good day of wrestling. Long, too long. In my opinion,
7:30.
I've always been, since they rolled this out, the wild card guy. I wanted to see 7 sectionals and then give us the ability with 2 wild cards that we draw and get in there. However, after sitting through that sectional, I don't think the WIAA has another option other than, well, there's 2 options you could do. You add the A sectional, or you make it every sectional in the state you have to have the ability to run 4 mats on. And I don't love that. That takes so many opportunities away from the smaller schools. How many D3 schools can run 4 mats? I mean, very few. Prairie du Chien would have that sectional every single year. And so, in my opinion, I think you have to go to the 8th sectional. That takes 2 teams out of each sectional. And then 2 sectionals you would take 3 out of to give you 14, or to give you, yeah.
Just 2 out of every.
2 out of every sectional to give you 14. Yeah, 16. So 2 out of every sectional, and then you're in. You're good to go. And that cuts it down by probably at least an hour. The other thing, and I've got some people working on the data to see if it did the 7th place match mean anything for team points?
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, it's only a possibility of 3 additional points.
Well, I mean, just you have advancement.
Well, you got 1 advancement point for 7th place, right?
And then placement points, and then also,
if you pin, you get 2 points.
Yep.
So that's 3 points total.
Well, it'd be 4, right? Advancement, placement.
Is 1.
Yep, and then 3 points for
2 for a pin.
Well, and then you get 1 for advancement, 3 for 7th, so that's 4 right there. So then you get 6, and then I believe the 7th and 6th place team were only. I think they were within. It was
yeah, and I don't know. I don't have the data. That would be the other way to speed up a sectional, though, if you got rid of that 7th place match, because then you could run that consolation semifinals on 3 mats. And then you're into it 25 minutes sooner.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
I mean, you get through that round a little bit quicker. And so those are the 2 things I think. I mean, I don't know how you can ask a kid to have 8:30 weigh-ins, and then some places we're wrestling at 8 o'clock at night still. 12 hours to stay locked in for a chance to go to state is just, it's too long of a day. So in my opinion, you either need to go everybody has 4 mats, or you go to the 8 sectionals, which I think that's probably the easy button is 8 sectionals. Then you don't have to introduce this wild card. And nobody's mad. The forums are mad this week, Zach, with the state seating criteria. They're mad.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And then they just redid a bunch of the.
Yeah, they did 14, I believe, or something like
today,
that.
So.
All right, team sectionals preview.
Let's start with the Brookwood.
Brookwood first.
Which is going to be on Saturday in Mineral Point for team sectionals.
Brookwood, yes.
Yep. So
All right.
the 6 teams that qualified for that are Boscobel, Wazeeka Steuben, Riverdale, Prairie du Chien, Lancaster, Iowa Grande Highland, and Aquinas, which will set up a first-round match of Riverdale versus Prairie du Chien. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Prairie du Chien, I think they have 13 people. They had the 13 kids that they ran out there at sectionals. Riverdale only had 9. I think that it's a close one, but I think Prairie du Chien wins that opening round match.
Yeah, in my opinion, I mean, Riverdale's got more hammers.
Yep.
They just don't have enough the rest of the way through to compete with Prairie du Chien. So, yes, I agree. I've got Prairie taking that one.
Yeah, technically Riverdale being the 4 seed and then Prairie du Chien being the 5th seed. So, obviously, Riverdale had a better day at individual sectionals, but they also had 3 champs, Schramm, Brewer, and Meese. So
and then Matthews and Schramm as second.
Both second.
Runner up.
Yep. So they qualified 5 kids to the individual state tournament. So then that would leave the 3 versus 6, which was Lancaster versus Boscobel, Wazeeka Steuben. I don't know that this one's necessarily all that close. I think
Lancaster takes it.
Handles business fairly easy in that one, which would set up in the second round Lancaster and Iowa Grande Highland. I crouched the numbers about 6. What? What did I say? Oh, you're picking.
He's doing a pick. Sorry, folks, we don't have him in the other room yet. We're still working on that.
So I crunched the numbers 3 or 4 different ways today. I think this one's real close, but I think Iowa Grande Highland does take care of business in that one.
I'm going Lancaster.
Okay.
I've been betting against Lancaster all year. They have been. This has been on their radar. Talking with some of their coaches, been on their radar all year. They know they need to get through Iowa Grande. I think this is going to come down to bonus points. Period. Who scores the bonus points? Whose coaches have them ready for bonus points? Lancaster also has a full lineup, so they potentially have the ability for a double forfeit someplace. If they have a guy to slide in, maybe they can slide their starter into the, some of these, bump a guy up. They've just got more guys. I got Lancaster getting through, and Iowa Grande Highland just another heartbreaker, which they've had the last couple of years.
So then that would be in the next one, Aquinas versus Prairie du Chien, the next and final semifinal match. I got Aquinas fairly easily in that one, I believe.
I got Aquinas.
Okay, so then that would lead you to a Aquinas, or no, we'll do the third place match first. Prairie du Chien versus Iowa Grande Highland in the third place match.
Iowa Grande.
Okay. I have Prairie du Chien versus Lancaster, and Lancaster taking that one. So then you would have Lancaster, Aquinas in the championship match.
I've got Aquinas.
I have Iowa Grande and Aquinas, and I have Aquinas in that one. So then you would, in your scenario, have a... No, you would not.
No,
you
because
have Lancaster. Yep.
No wrestle back needed.
No wrestle back.
So the other thing to be mindful of, especially in that one, I don't think it's going to matter. We crunched the numbers today. Currently,
there's 2 teams. Marathon's one of them, and I can't remember the other one.
Iowa Grande is 9, and Lancaster is ranked 10th. There are 8 teams getting out. Mm-hmm. And there's one wild card opportunity on the team side, and Marathon and what was that? Seymour, wasn't it?
I think
are
so.
in the same sectional, and that was like a 3-5 rankings.
I think it was like 5-6, but yeah,
or 5-6 rankings. They probably get the wild card over
Iowa Grande
or Lancaster in that, in my opinion, against unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
Now, I believe they do take all the second place teams,
All the first and second place teams, they reseed them.
and each guy goes against each guy in the lineup, and you get a point if your team wins. Seeded just like the high school state tournament. So there again, if one of these teams had made it to state last year, that team's getting a wild card
Yep.
rather than somebody that didn't make it to state, right? Because they're going to get that advancement point unless your team is just that much superior to them. But yeah, in our opinion, we do not see the wild card coming out of this sectional. Unfortunately, there's 3 ranked teams in this sectional. Aquinas ranked number 1.
I think, the only way that we get a wild card out of that section is if somehow someone upends Aquinas, and then they would get it. That would be, I think, in my opinion, the only way we get a wild card out of that team sectional.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the Richland Center sectional, which that'll be on Saturday in Lodi. So the six teams that qualified for that were Stoughton, Belmont Platteville, Reedsburg, Lodi, Mount Horeb, Barneveld, and Evansville. So your 3 versus 6 is going to be Belmont Platteville versus Reedsburg. Belmont Platteville being the 3 seed, Reedsburg being the 6 seed. I think that Reedsburg actually handles business in that one. I think they just have a little bit better dual team than Belmont Platteville does currently.
Yeah, I've got Reedsburg coming through that one as well. You got to win when you're supposed to against Belmont, though. That is the one thing I will throw a caveat on. They got to win when they're supposed to.
Yep, and that's your next one is your 4-5, Lodi Stoughton. I think I have Lodi in that one fairly easily.
Yeah. Lodi takes that one. Stoughton just doesn't have enough to deal with the likes of.
Yep. So then in your first semifinal match, that would lead Lodi versus Evansville. And in that one, I think Evansville has just got too much firepower, and they come out on top in that one.
Evansville comes out on top over Lodi.
You're agreeing or restating?
Both.
Okay. So then in your next semifinals match, that would leave Mount Horeb, Barneveld, and Reedsburg, and I think Mount Horeb is also. We're just on a collision course for Evansville, Mount Horeb.
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest, it's going to – I mean, those are the only 2 teams in this sectional that are going to I don't think anyone else – I think Reedsburg is close, but they're just not – they don't have enough against Mount Horeb.
And that would leave in the third place match, Lodi versus Reedsburg. I think Lodi comes out on top and finishes third there.
I'm going Reedsburg on that one.
Okay, Reedsburg. All right, so then we get the one that everyone wants to see, Evansville, Albany. Not Evansville, Albany. Jeez, I'm old. Just Evansville.
Yeah, you've been saying Evansville, Albany. So let's just take a peek at the team rankings here. Evansville currently ranked number 3 in the state. Mount Horeb, number 8. Reedsburg, number 9. And Lodi, number 11.
So in this one, I think it's going to be very close. It could end up coming down to a rematch of last Saturday's sectional finals match between Eli Meyer of Mount Horeb, Barneveld, and Tommy Heiser of just Evansville. I think that Evansville will be just a little bit too tough in a real close one against Mount Horeb, Barneveld. I think Evansville finishes first.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. A lot of this one, in my opinion, is going to be that Heiser-Meyer match is going to be good.
It was good last weekend.
It was good last weekend. And so this is where the other side of the coin comes in. And, like, if you're Mount Horeb, especially, do you think you're going to win Team State? And if you do, how many looks do you want to give a Heiser?
This is going to sound strange because Heiser won, but I bet Evansville would be more amped to not give another look to Meyer than Meyer not give a look
No,
to Heiser.
I understand that. And the only reason I say Meyer is for the simple reason that Evansville is probably more looking for that individual title.
Probably.
I don't know that. I think so to get down to it, I think Evansville wins this match. But I also think if we draw at 190 as a starting weight, that you don't even see that match unless it's within 3.
How are they? Do you know how they're doing this for sure? Are they drawing? Are they
I don't
starting
know.
at 106? That's. Yeah, I mean, if they start at 100, boy. Ooh.
Right.
That'd be worst case scenario, I think, for
At start-
Evansville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting at 106. So I don't know. And so here again, like, does Mount Horeb have a 65-pounder that can score points
Outside of Cameroon?
outside of Cameroon where you could slide everybody?
Maybe.
Right?
I'm
And
not
so
sure.
then Cameroon Heiser, I don't think is much different than Meyer Heiser. I think Meyer then still gets 6 at 190. I still think Leonard gets 6 at, well, maybe he doesn't get, yeah, I think he does get 6 at 215 against that Butts that beat Wobbles.
Haven. Well,
And then I think Havens has a real opportunity to win at 285. So depending, 165 is where this is going to get interesting, because if Evansville doesn't have a commanding lead at 65, I think Mount Horeb slides and Evansville doesn't win another match of the night.
You think Cameroon takes down Heiser?
After 175.
Okay.
But I think it's 3 points either way. I think Heiser was in on all the takedowns.
Couldn't finish, but he was the
It's
aggressor.
easier to game plan how to finish on a guy than it is to game plan on how to take somebody down you didn't have a shot opportunity against.
Yeah, Meyer didn't really have any great looks.
Right, and so
if he did, it was all off of.
I think Heiser
shot.
wins that match. I'm going to preview it again for next week, but I think Heiser wins that match again at state tournament. And so if you slide Cameroon in there, I don't think he's getting majored by Heiser. So I think you drop 3 there, and then you expect Meyer, Leonard, Havens all. I mean, those are all, in my book, that's 18 points. And then at 285 right now on paper, Evansville wins that match. Putting Havens up at 285. I don't know if they do win it. It's not a tack. It's not a pin. It's probably not a major. And Havens could come out with it. So if they start at 106, that's the worst case scenario for Evansville there. And I don't know if Mount Horeb has anybody at 165 to plug that.
I would imagine not, but maybe.
But there again, where do they have a guy? Because what if you bump Stevens to 157?
Well, I mean, so there are a couple winnable. I mean, there's so many hammers on Evansville's side, but there are a very, like the McCarthy at 65. Like, yeah, I mean, if you, to your point, if you have another 57-pounder or just someone in there where you can bump everyone up, then yeah, I mean, there's movement capability for sure in that, which could benefit Mount Horeb Barneville.
I would be shocked if you see the Meyer
Heiser
rematch at team sectionals, because I think, especially if it starts lower weight, especially if it starts at 106, the writing's going to be on the wall for Mount Horeb already, and they can do math in Mount Horeb. They're going to know it already. And the slide there, in my opinion, is worth more points than wrestling it straight up. Because right now you've got Cam Rude gets the pin there, call it the Heiser win, so that's a 3-point difference. Leonard gets 6. Havens gets 6. So that's 12, 30, 40, 15. And then Evansville gets at least a major there, if not a tech fall or a pin, probably a pin there. So it's
I mean,
9 points.
It's going to be a close one and should be a real good one.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Evansville getting it. I don't think that we're going to see the Heiser-Meyer rematch. And I would not be shocked if Mount Horeb sneaks one out. But it's going to be a good day of wrestling down at Lodi on Saturday for team sectionals. Look next week for our preview show of the Wisconsin individual state tournament. We'll be going through a bunch of brackets. I won't say they're every bracket. If you guys have a bracket you want to make sure we hit on, let us know. Most of our knowledge, at least across the entire bracket, is probably D2 and D3, just because we see them a lot more than the D1 guys. But if you guys have a bracket that you want us to break down, boys or girls, next week, let us know. Obviously, good luck to the Richland Center girls out there this weekend, looking to advance a bunch of kids through and keep your seasons rolling. Signing off with another episode of Beyond the Whistle.